Good morning, gamers and gentlemen. Otter here, back at it again with another patch notes for what could be a bit of a controversial patch, but overall probably a patch for the better with a lot of changes and balance changes that the community have wanted. And before anyone mentions it, I'll just mention it myself. It looks a little bit different behind me, and the camera and the mic quality. Hopefully, it's bearable. I am at Stockholm. We're going to be at DreamHack. And just chilling there and streaming and whatnot. If you guys are going code otter 15% off. But yeah, you're gonna have to put up with Zoom meeting otter at the release for this video. So we're just gonna hop into it, go over the patch notes as we always do, and I will also give my take on some of these changes because some of these are controversial, some of these are better than you think, some of these might be worse than you think. So let's just dive into it. Okay. So, starting off, this update includes a new version of the Matchmaker. The matchmaking pools are no longer split between normal and ranked. There's only one primary matchmaking mode, and there are no limited hours. So, no more 3 to 9 p.m. Badges will update immediately whenever you gain or lose enough MMR to change the badges. So, they're based on your MMR score, hit an ELO. You no longer have to wait a week or play a certain game count. There sometimes will be monthly global maintenance updates where we readjust the global curve based on the population, cheaters banned, recalculation adjustments, etc. And that will be done as needed and not necessarily every month, which I like a lot. They had never really addressed what they would do with cheaters after they got banned, but now we know, or at the very least, they're doing it moving forward. Hero MMR is now used in the Matchmaker. Each player will have a core MMR, and your MMR per hero will be offsets of your core MMR. When you queue, we're going to check out how that looks and actually see where I end up ranking, because by merging the MMR, everyone got different ranks. When you queue, we will match you based on that hero's MMR. So if you're unfamiliar or play worse with a given hero, you will be put into easier matches than your usual. Judgment on your skill and familiarity with a hero will be based on the 20 most recent games with that hero. In your profile, we have UI that shows you what the matchmaker thinks your relative ranking for each hero is. Give us feedback on this. We're going to take a look at this later. We're on a gaming laptop here, so we can pull the game up. It's just a bit scuffed if we do it while recording this part. They're also adding leaderboards per region for North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Oceania. There's a top 1,000 core MMR leaderboard, as well as a top 1,000 hero MMR leaderboard for each hero, for each region separately. So that's like 4. There's a lot of different leaderboards. What is that? 5 regions. That's 10 different leaderboards. To qualify for being considered in the leaderboards in general, you must have 50 games played in the last 30 days. To qualify for a specific hero's leaderboard, you must have played at least 20 games of that hero in the past 30 days. You can queue as any party size, so not solo queue only like old ranked. However, there are a few details. If the range of skill in your party is too wide, the amount of MMR you gain will be reduced somewhat based on a degree. This is especially true if it's a player we don't know anything about, like a very high MMR player queuing with a new player. They put it in brackets for a reason. We will minimize updates to non-player until we're more confident we can trust the skill of the party overall. This is to fix a very known abuse people were doing, where they play, because you could queue like 2 or 3 people as Eternus players, and then they just made Smurfs for people, the other Eternus players, and they could play a larger stack without the MMR limit kicking in. The previous limit on high MMR party sizes is increased from 2 to 3. This applies to Ascendant 1 and above. This is the old limit we had on disallowing too many high MMR players to be in the same party together for matchmaking quality reasons. Given the updated no-hour limits, if we think a match is a bad quality, like 5 AM games, we will weight a match less heavily towards a rank update relative to what we would do with an average quality match. We'll get to this in a bit. If you prefer playing with only solos, there is a con bar, something you put in your console, prefer solo only, that you can use. What's interesting about this one is that it basically doesn't mean that it puts you in a separate queue that only puts you against players who use this con bar as well. But as I understand it, it would just make you a solo queue player, and you only want to be matched with solo queue players. So I guess the lobby is built around you, where it will only fill in with all the solo queue players it can find. Rather than, so anyone who queues solo queue will probably be matched with people who use the con bar, but people who use the con bar will only be matched with people who use the the people who use the con bar will only be matched with solo queue players. When queuing as a party, you will have an option to override the default balance-oriented lane assignment system and make the system prioritize putting your party members in the same lanes together. They also added a swap lanes feature. During the rooftop and zipline phase at the start of the game, you can now request to swap lanes with your teammates by clicking the button below the portrait on the scoreboard. If the other player accepts your request, you will be immediately swapped. You may decline an incoming request by right-clicking it. There's also an option to notify you anytime your rank levels up. There's also an option to show the average badge of each team for the post-game. These are opt-in, so by default they are disabled. So before we dive into the rest of the changes, there's some balance changes, map changes, and whatnot. I just want to mention this real quick, the whole matchmaking thing. This fixes, so if you guys have been watching my last few videos, I've been talking extensively about the rank system, how much of a joke it is, how poorly executed it is overall. And while it doesn't address my problems specifically, these changes will basically fix all of them. They're no longer relevant issues, more or less. However, the change that they are going for right now is going to cause some issues. First and foremost, because there's no ranked or pubs, or rather, all of it's ranked. That means that people are going to queue up, and some people want a more competitive experience. That's why they had ranked. And they have to bring it to pubs. Some people want to play more casually. Maybe they don't want to play as focused. Maybe they want to play with a high... maybe they want to play with meme builds or something like that. They can't really do that anymore, or rather they can. But if you have like one person on your team who plays a Hawk to a Grey Talon build, he's going to get flamed by the 5 other players who might want to play more seriously because they want to climb. So it is a bit of a scuffed decision to combine the 2 lobbies. But the game has not been doing too hot in the last month or so. So I think they're kind of forced to do that, seeing as there are 11 different ranks, plus different sub-ranks, like 5 different per each one, 2 different queues, hero labs. There's just too many variables that spreads the small player base that we already have pretty damn thin. So they're kind of forced to do that. I don't think they would do it unless they really had to. Either way, that is something. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think about the change personally, and then we're going to dive down into the general changes. Oh wow, that's actually awesome. Added secondary keybinds for action. So now you can, if you have, I personally want my parry both on F and on my mouse. Now I can do that. You could do it previously with a console command, but it was a bit scuffed. You're now able to browse and favorite builds in the dashboard. Sandbox mode now shows the souls value of the current items you have in your inventory. This is something I mentioned on stream and something I saw on Reddit, I think like a few days ago. So there was a fast implementation. Ability tooltips, why did I write like that? Now lists exactly which items the ability has been imbued with rather than abilities imbued. Items in the shop that imbue abilities are tagged with a label with a similar styling to active items. Commend toasts now stay on your screen until they're dismissed. Commend toasts now have a button to return the commend to the player that commended you. Oh, that's cool. Shake each other's hands. Adjusted the behavior of the incoming damage UI so it can still be used in sandbox mode. There's now a change hero button in the build browser, which brings up the hero picker to choose a different hero in both sandbox and in the dashboard. Quick buy. Decision dialogues for dealing with item limits, imbuing, and activation slots are now shown at the queue time rather than the purchase time whenever possible. Very good change. So now no longer it's just gonna, you put superior cooldown, and then you buy it, and then you go all the way back. You go to the store when you want a quick buy, and all of a sudden you just get a pop-up you can't get out of. This is a very good change. You can now queue items to sell. If you right-click on items that you own, it will add them to the front of your quick buy queue, and then will be queued to sell. The sale price of items will be added to your current souls to calculate when you can afford to purchase the next item in your quick buy queue. Adjusted Powerup runes design to look more visually breakable. Due to the melee change explained later in the gameplay section. Okay. Low priority games now require wins to count. That is a huge one. I think low priority will be a lot less terrible now. In Dota, apparently, low priority queue is super sweaty because the only way to get out low priority is by winning. So people try hard like crazy. Gaining Rejuvenator buff now shows what stats have been improved on your hero, like power-ups and overbuffs. That's great. Fix Abrams camera. Yeah, it was really weird for a while there. Added icon variants for lower high ground for small, medium, large camps. Added notes below cancel key and settings explaining that the abilities will be cancelled with the cancel key when possible. Purchase log in the shop now shows enemy and ally purchases with different colors. Fixed F1, F5 keys not working. Moving on, updated active items that have uniform sliding cast delay behavior. Curse cast delay change from 0 seconds to 0.1. So in general, just all of the active items have a 0.1 cast delay, and they don't interrupt sliding. And they just kind of made it happen to all the actives, so we'll just hop through that. The through-wall ally silhouette health bars are now more accurate. Optimized lighting in the map for better rendering performance. I'm curious to see how different it will look. Fixed a bug where you would be prompted to sell an item if the component wasn't in the same category as the component you were buying, i.e. you go to buy sewing hooks with item slots full and you already own the component. Removed redundant replay keybinds. Added chat wheel options as keybinds. You can bind keys to certain responses. That's going to be fun. Fixed on being able to ping enemy items. Added music and ambient sounds to Hotel. Added new run animation for 7. Revised Mirage Fire Scarab's projectile and cast sounds. Revives casting bridge loop buff. Remastered weapon fire for 7 and Paradox. Fixed a bug where nearly all sound stops and never returns. Classic source bug. Fixed respawn music queue failing to play with shop menu open. Fixed music not playing while the player is outside their base and the base is under attack. Fixed Haze smoke bomb loop not playing for teammates. Improved negative feedback sound effect timing. Added some cases where some sounds could overpower everything else. Even more source engine issues. Added key and button name localization support for keybinds. Visual update to Mirage Tornado bullet evasion buff. Visual update to Medicinal Spectre to improve visibility. Visual update to turret, tracers, muzzle flash, and impacts. Sandblast revision to help user judge distance and AoE. Added preview to Flying Strike. Added effect to when the zipline ability first starts. Added an AoE landing indicator for where units will be thrown with Death Slam, which only shows for allies. That's interesting. Will help you line them up better. Fixed ground strike preview cone visual to be more accurate. Updated patron VO to give the Amber Hand more lines that are more unique to him, as opposed to having the identical script for Sapphire Flame. For instance, while the Sapphire Flame might praise Haze for saying, "You are perfection, Haze," the Amber Hand would say, "Hands will dance and they will fall." Related to the above, both patrons will now call out the Greenwich Green Lane objectives specifically when they are destroyed. Oh yeah, because before I just said objectives were destroyed. Updated Bebop VO, remastered pass, and added some new content. Updated Viscous VO. He now comments a lot more interactions in the game. No longer small poos, pull of reused lines for Goo Punch. Updated Paradox VO, remastered pass, added some content. Update Kelvin VO, remastered pass, and some more content. Stubbed first pass VO for Fathom, Hero Labs. Some rendering performance improvements. Fix some light map quality regressions. Fix textures being slightly too blurry in FSR2. We can get back on FSR2 now. Fix some rendering features such as distant filled shadows, running despite being disabled. Fix right-clicking on an item in the shop in build editing mode, causing it to be added to quick buy queue. Finally, Steam game recording no longer records kill stuff if you're dead and spectating another player. Steam game recording timeline no longer records shrine objectives as is a world. Fixed FPS max slider. How did I go? Accidentally being changed to slider maximum value when out of slider range. Video settings slider for FPS max goes up to 400. Fixing tooltips on keybind dropdowns not working correctly. New sounds added to Yamato's Flying Strike while aiming. New sounds added to Monkrill's Burrow and Sandblast abilities. Hit confirm sound added to Lash's Flog ability. Fix the bug causing Monkrill's Burrow emerge sound to double up when not cancelling the burrow early. Fix Monkrill's Burrow traveling underground when sound not looping correctly. Steam input support, fix controller binds, fix show scoreboard for the sandbox mode UI. So these were mostly bugs, some small things to add. I figured we'll mention these. If you guys want me to keep reading these out when we do these videos, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just skip them as usual. But let's talk about actual balance changes, because there are some really big ones here, and I'll give my best take on them. Soul sharing ratios post lane reduced again to from 100, 70, 45, 33, 25, 20 to 100, 60, 35, 25, 20, 16 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. Original was 100, 50, 33, 25, 20, 16. So marginal difference. You get 60 if you share. You get 60 per player if you share the souls in a lane after, I think it's 8 or 10 minutes. I think it's 10 minutes now. And you get... Oh, I don't want to change that. Scratch that. But you still get more money by sharing. If you're 2 people in a lane. Both of you will get 120% of the souls in the lane. If you're sold, you only get 100%. So technically, you can still play many people in a stack and get more than 100% of souls if it's all being shared. However, you will get less per person, and the opportunity cost might not be there. This is a big hit on Deathball meta, especially when you combine the other changes, but I don't know if it's enough just yet. Hero kill souls decrease from 175 to 2000 to 175 to 1600. That is another good step against Deathball meta, as is this massive buff to walkers. The Stomp now also deals 10% max HP as damage. It also now deals 2% max HP DPS, the laser. Walkers now provide nearby allied heroes 25% bullet and spirit resistance. Walkers now have resistance based on how many nearby enemies there are. 0%, 8%, 16, 24, 32, and 40 for 1 through 6 players respectively. So they're more tanky. So there's no extra resist against one player, and it's pretty damn tanky against a large attacking team. So yeah, again, Deathball nerf and split pushing might be a bit more viable. Middle lane walkers HP increase from 5.8 to 8,000. That's just the middle lane. Okay, side lane walkers HP is 5175. That's interesting. Patron laser now also deals 3% max HP DPS. Huge. And then we see a change to flex slot. I saw this on Reddit. Changed from all shrines to 1 shrine and 2 base guardians. I prefer that, because right now the old flex slot, you didn't really get to unlock it until the very end of the game. This means you can get that flex slot a lot sooner. You basically, generally speaking, 1 fight sooner. Mid-boss trooper health for the first spawn reduced from 95 to 70%. Trooper spirit resist at 25 minutes reduced from 30% to 20%. Still scales the same. Respawn time curves changed from happening at 17:30 minutes for 4070 to 20-40 minutes. So the respawns are going to be faster. Trooper soul changed from 60-40% any kill orb to 65-35%. Medic Trooper now has 3 charges of heal rather than 2. That is pretty huge. Keep that in mind. Now it might be more valuable to kill the Medic Troopers so they don't get abused in lane. Fall off min range reduced from 22 meters to 20. Air drag when getting off the zipline increased from 20 to 25%. Default in general is 20. Improved various issues with heavy melee versus dash parry when there's latency. I'm interested to see what that's going to end up feeling like. I have had a lot of issues where somebody do a heavy melee and I dash out of the way and it still connects. And a lot of people have reported that they parry and the heavy melee goes straight through the parry. So hopefully this will help out a lot. Killing the first patron now causes any existing enemy hero respawn to be reduced by 20 seconds. However, it does not reduce remaining respawn time lower than 10. This is huge because it also gives the defending team a way to get back and actually fight, rather than them being a full lockout when, let's say it's like a late game fight and you get the patron. Sometimes if the respawns are long enough, you could just go and finish off the patron before they even respawn. Now that's going to be more unlikely. It can still happen, but it's going to be, again, less likely. And then speaking about the power-ups, the 2 buffs on the 2 bridges on the middle of the map. Power-ups now require a heavy melee to claim. Art visuals updated as mentioned previously. Power-ups now start weaker and grow stronger from 10 minutes to 40. Gun power-up previously was 20% fire rate and 40% ammo for 160. Now starts at 10% fire rate and 30% ammo. And then ends at 30% fire rate and 60% ammo. So, okay. So overall, it's weaker at the start, but stronger at the end. Survival previously was plus 400 health and plus 1% max health regen for 160. Now starts at 250 health and 1% max health regen and ends at plus 700 health and 1.5% max health regen. Casting power up previously was 25 spirit power and 20% cooldown reduction for 160 seconds. Now starts at 20%. I can't speak to them, sorry. 20 spirit power and 15% cooldown reduction, and ends at plus 40 spirit power and plus 25 cooldown reduction. Movement power up previously was plus 2 stamina, plus 3 sprint, plus 30% stamina regen, and 50% zipline boost. Now starts at plus 1 stamina, plus 2 sprint, plus 20% stamina regen, and plus 40 zipline boost, and ends at 4 stamina, 4 sprint, plus 50 stamina regen, and 80% zipline boost. What a mouthful. God damn. Earn time. To reveal increased from 20 to 25 seconds. Initial earned bounty reduced from 4k to 3k. There's a math here which I cannot. Change from 750 plus, so that's I guess the base, plus 230 multiplied by minutes to 700. So it scales the same, it's just the start bounty is lower. Initially, I wouldn't even say there's much of a reason to run the earn sometimes, so I don't know how much this helps, or what the point of that is. Added an alternate earn mechanic as an experiment for 2 days. This will be enabled this weekend only, and Monday it will be back to normal. Earn pickup at location is the same, but drop-off location is now always at the top of mid-temple. The bonus souls the teams get is reduced by 60%. The delivering player reward is unchanged. The reveal time is now 40 seconds. And then we have some map changes. Moved rooftop and neutral camps on amber yellow and sapphire purple to rooftops closer to the dark garden. That is definitely a good choice. Will make it flow a lot better. It was a bit scuffed because you still have a camp down here. So the way you have to do that camp and then take the zipline up, it just felt weird. This one is a bit more. It was like too clustered. And now that it's here, it'll make a lot more sense. There's probably a good path you can do. I think you could like a double jump and wall jumping it up there anyway. So it doesn't change the pathing that much. If anything, saves you some time. Added a truck to climb up to the interior bridge at the port. We don't have the picture. Moved stairs up from the central canal to the radio station interior closer to the inner lanes. Removed stairs up to the radio station interior from the underground teleport station. Redesigned radio station interior to be more open. Okay. Moved the connection corridor between inner and outer lanes to be forwarded from the base entrances. Removed the cosmic veils from the entrances of the connection corridor. Changed entrance to the armory warehouse from the inner lane to be more direct, not a hallway. Oh yeah, so now it's like a massive, let's use a massive warehouse room instead. I'm not sure what I think about that. It's probably better for balancing, but it looks weird. Remove bookshelf model instead of the upper floor of the police station garment building to see the corridor behind it. Removed rope inside of the police station garment building. You can still double jump that. Interesting decision. Added interior stair connection to factory mansion to stay inside from lower to upper areas. Added a fence guard besides the stairs inside the garage nightclub. I assume you can't shoot through that, but you can see through it. Added zapper effect to antenna models and rooftops. New building facade art in amber, blue, and purple lanes. Added a street gate structure between the garage and the record shop. So that's this is a massive map change. I don't think the patch notes are doing it distance. You just have to get in game and try it out yourself, and you're going to see this a lot. Just the whole flow of the map will be a lot different. Heal anti-heal rebalance, because we basically have like a heal anti-heal meta, and they're changing that up a lot, making it a lot weaker. But lots of group of changes altogether that pairs reducing sustainability items as well as anti-heal mechanics by some percentage. Abrams Infernal Resilience reduced from 14% to 11%, and Tier 3 from 7 to 5.5%. Siphon Life Heal versus Heroes reduced from 100 to 75%. Heal versus non-heroes reduced from 50% to 40%. Bebop Hyper Beam Tier 3 reduced from 100 to 100%, and then 33% for heroes creeps to 80 and 25. Dynamo Rejuvenating Aura Regen reduced from 32 to 30. Rejuvenating Aura Spirit Power Scaling reduced to 0.45. Rejuvenating Aura Tier 3 reduced from 3.8% to 3.4%. Great Talon Rain of Arrows Tier 3 reduced from 50% lifesteal to 40. Infernus Catalyst Tier 2 reduced from 50% lifesteal to 12. Infernus Catalyst Tier 3 reduced from minus 40 heal degen to minus 33. Concussive Combustion Tier 3 reduced from 100% to 85%. Ivy Watcher's Covenant Bullet Lifesteal reduced from 15 to 12%. Ivy Stoneform Max Health Heal reduced from 10% to 8%. Stoneform Tier 3 Max Health Heal reduced from 20% to 16%. Kelvin Frost Grenade Tier 2 reduced from 125 heal to 100. You'll feel that one. Frozen Shelter Region reduced from 120 to 110. Frozen Shelter Tier 3 reduced from 70 to 60. Lash Flog Heal versus Heroes reduced from 70 to 65%. Flog Heal versus Creeps reduced from 25 to 20. McGinnis Medicinal Spectre event Tier 3 reduced from 5% to 4.5%. Mo and Krill's Scorn, heal versus heroes reduced from 2x to 1.6, so still decent. Heal versus creeps reduced from 0.7 to 0.66. Pocket Affliction, tier 2 healing reduction reduced from 60% to 50%. Warden Last Stand, non-hero lifesteal reduced from 50 to 20. They basically gutted it on a non-hero. Last Stand hero lifesteal reduced from 100 to 80. So still weaker there too, but the non-hero, that was a big change. Basically halved it. Or more than that. Wraith, full auto tier 3 lifesteal reduced from 35 to 30. Viscous, the cube region reduced from 40 to 35. The cube tier 2 region reduced from 35 to 30. The cube region spirit power scaling reduced from 0.2 to 0.18. Shiv, bloodletting reduced from 22% to 20. Shiv, bloodletting tier 1 reduced from 8% to 6. Bloodletting rage bonus reduced from 15 to 14. And then we got item changes. Soul Shredder Bullet Spirit Lifesteal reduced from 20% to 18. Active Reload Bullet Lifesteal reduced from 20% to 18. Headhunter Heal per Headshot reduced from 8% to 7. Heroic Aura Bullet Lifesteal reduced from 20% to 18%. Toxic Bullets Healing Reduction reduced from 65% to 50. Vampiric Burst Bullet Lifesteal reduced from 100% to 80%. Melee lifesteal reduced from 20% to 18%. Bullet lifesteal reduced from 28% to 26%. Restorative Locket regen per stack reduced from 35 to 32. Spirit lifesteal reduced from 23% to 22%. Healbane healing reduction reduced from 45 to 40%. Lifestrike lifesteal reduced from 65% to 55%. DK, time to wake up. DK healing reduction reduced from 70% to 55%. Leech bullet lifesteal reduced from 35% to 32. Spirit lifesteal also reduced from 35% to 32. Oh man, that was a mouthful. There's a lot more still, chat. There is so many more things, but that makes a very big difference too. Again, sustain. There were some heroes that would never die, and a lot of heroes were building lifesteal and sustainability, and the fight just got really drawn out and annoying to play because of it. We're going to see more balance changes down the line, but any heroes that benefited from sustained fighting are obviously going to see, assuming that the fights are going to be a lot faster now, are going to see some issues in the upcoming patch. But we're going to move on from here to see which ones we're talking about. Starting off with the items then. I mean, it covered most of the items here, but there's going to be more changes down here, including some of these items. Hopefully they don't, there's more items too. They just don't really show the lifesteal parts. I am tired of saying that word for the next week. Rapid rounds. Fire rate increased from 10% to 11. Monster rounds bonus health reduced from 50 to 30. For tier 2, Berserker weapon damage per stack increased from 5% to 6. Soul Shredder bullets Spirit Amp reduced from 10% to 8. That is noticeable, but they're still good. Headhunter headshot bonus damage reduced from 140 to 130. Heroic Aura cooldown reduced from 25 to 20. Alchemical Fire DPS burn lingers on targets for 1 second. That will make a massive difference. Hunter's Aura fire rate slow reduced from 10% to 9. New tier 3 weapon item, Spell Slinger Headshots. Anything with headshots is a-okay for me. Requires Soul Shredder bullets, which makes them more viable to buy, and you'll have a build path towards mid to late. Landing a headshot on enemy heroes increases your total spirit power by 3% for 12 seconds. Doesn't sound like a lot, but we'll get to it. Cooldown 1.5 seconds and a max stacks of 12, which means that you can get, I'm bad at math, but 36 stacks. That is insane. You can get a 36 total spirit power increase by hitting headshots. Obviously, it will take 12 stacks. It will take quite a while to build that up, but god damn. Grants 12% weapon damage, 8% spirit damp, 18% spirit lifesteal, component passive, and 150 health. Glass Cannon now requires slowing bullets. It grants a slow passive. Silencer was reworked. It now passively builds up on enemies. I'm thinking like toxic bullets. Silencing for 2 seconds and then reducing spirit damage output by 40% for 4 seconds. Enemies affected cannot be affected again for 12 seconds. Grants 20% weapon damage, 15% spirit resist, and 20% debuff reduction. The build-up is a lot slower, or a bit slower, than toxic bullets. Didn't even mention that one specifically. Perfect. Lucky Shot damage multiplier increased from 90% to 110%. Lucky Shot now grants 150 spirit shield. It's pretty straightforward. Very interested to see what we can do with the Spell Slinger headshots. I'm curious to see what heroes will benefit from it. Obviously, somebody like mostly hybrid heroes, but maybe even just spell casters in general. I'm thinking Infernus. Maybe Grey Talon will benefit from this a lot if you can hit consistent headies with it. I could see this being very good for somebody like Vindicta, because you generally do like a headshot build, and obviously will deal more damage with your ult with more spirit, maybe even Mirage, because his third ability will proc a lot harder. Moving on, vitality items. For tier 1, melee lifesteal now grants additional bullet resist, 3%. For tier 2, reactive barrier, bullet shield health reduced from 400 to 350. I would say it's still pretty solid. Return fire now requires extra regen. Debuff reducer, debuff resist reduced from 30% to 28%. Weapon damage increased from 6% to 8%. Divine barrier now has +8 ability range again instead of spirit power. Oh man, yeah, so my man Viscous is going to get even bigger. Divine Barrier no longer grants +1 spirit. Healing Nova no longer has ability range. Oh, I guess it added up, but it's still +2%. We'll take those. Healbane duration increased from 6 seconds to 7. Tier 3, Debuff Remover active buff duration on Purge increased to 4 seconds. Debuff Remover purging a debuff now also heals you for 10% max HP. Now, okay. I wonder if that's just using it or if it has to purge a debuff. That is a very big change. This is now acts as an active heal ability as well. Rescue Beam heal now reduced from 26 to 24. Like, that might actually make it more meta than it already was. Rescue Beam heal reduced from 26 to 24. Now grants ability range, or that's where that went. Cooldown increased from 26 to 36. Pull speed reduced. Metal Skin active now reduces your move speed by 1.5. Superior Stamina grants 75 health. Now increases wall jump count by 1 as well. That's like a must-have now. 2 wall jumps? Gee, Bill, 2 wall... That is a big change to movements, especially certain rollouts. That's going to be massive. Majestic Leap now grants 6% spirit resist. Phantom Strike cast range now ignores the Z height, so I assume that's the up and down, similar to Lash's Death Slam. Wow, no, man, double wall jumps. That is genuinely crazy. I love that. Spirit items, Ammo Scavenger. While at max stacks, you gain +2 sprint. I don't remember how many stacks it has. I was reading this last night, and honestly, that is huge. For one reason alone. And I think normally a lot of people say Ammo Scavenger isn't worth it. I don't know how easy it is to clear the jungle, but with this, I think it's actually going to be really good, because you get stacks by defeating jungle creeps. So if you just get max stacks either from defeating creeps in lane or from the jungle, you'll be able to clear it that much faster. And with it being a 500 money item, that beats sprint boots, because sprint boots are just 500. Actually, yeah, that's massive. You don't even need to buy sprint boots anymore if you have Ammo Scavenger. Infuser cooldown reduced from 37 to 32. DK healing reduction reduced. I thought there would be more mentions of this. I feel lied to, chat. Healing reduction reduced from 70% to 55%. Damage increased from 1% to 1.4. I think it was 3%. Now it's and then 1%. Now it's 1.4. Wavering Whip cooldown reduced from 18 to 15. Improved Spirit health increased from 100 to 125. Now Silence Glove saw a massive change. It no longer shoots a tracking projectile using a unit target. Instead, it releases an aim-based projectile that silences on impact. So you have to aim, and that is 0.1 cast time, so it'll be a bit scuffed. And the cooldown has also been reduced from 32 to 24 seconds. This is especially good to counter what I like to call the Virgin Wraith build, because now you actually have to, at the very least, use a little bit of skill before you hit him with the undodgeable ultimate. Ethereal Shift, post-shift, now also grants 20 spirit power. Rapid recharge time between charges reduced, so it's even faster. Okay. A knockdown cast range now ignores the Z height, similar to Lash's Death Slam. I wonder if they're going to change that with the bombs as well for Bebop, because it was really buggy. Mystic slowdown grants +1 sprint. Mystic slow health increased from 140 to 160. Torment Pulse now grants melee resistance. Okay. And even more items. New tier 3 spirit item, Spirit Snatch. Requires Spirit Strike. Causes your melee damage attacks to steal. 12% spirit resist and 26 spirit power for 16 seconds. Cooldown 6 seconds. Buff you receive stacks if you hit different heroes. Okay, so you can get even more stacks. So I guess you can get up to 6 of these. That's crazy. Melee builds are winning, I guess. Grants 50% melee damage, speed resist, 125 health, and +1 sprint. That's really cool to see. And there's another one. New tier 3 spirit item, Arcane Surge, requires kinetic dash. Again, that's great because you can actually upgrade it to somewhere, so it has a mid-late game build path. After a successful dash jump, the next ability you use will also have plus 20% range, 20% duration, and 20 spirit power, or plus. Grants 100 health, 1 stamina, and 15% slow resist. Massive. I'm thinking off-rep immediately. I'm thinking something like Bebop would benefit from it. I could see Dynamo, definitely. I don't remember how much, I actually don't know how much Mystic Range does at the top of my head, but that will make a very big difference for his ultimate, and it is an item you normally would build anyways, so I'm interested to see just how that will feel. Diviner's Kevlar no longer grants 20% spirit lifesteal, now grants a 7% ability duration. Echo Shard cast delay reduced from 0.3 to 0.25. Mystic Reverb damage increased from 40 to 45%. Refresher cooldown increased from 230 to 260 seconds. Okay, we're getting close to that. How long have we been live, chat? Let's see. We have been live for our recording for 36 minutes. A lot of numbers that we're throwing at you. My brain is being thrown for a loop. We'll do a little secret call out here. If you guys are watching at 36 minutes, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys do think of the changes so far. I appreciate you guys watching for this long and listening to me ramble through this massive set of patch notes, even though we're on the Zoom meeting quality. But we're going to go over the hero changes now as well. I am curious to see about these. Some of these are pretty solid. Starting off with Abrams, base, even more health. God damn it. Base regen increased from 1 to 1.5. Siphon life range now scales with spirit power. Siphon life damage scaling with spirit power increased from 0.4 to 0.5. Seismic impact drag down collision improved a bit. So there were changes to heal lifesteal, and there were changes to heal bane. I don't want to go on record and say the wrong thing again, but I want to say that with the base regen increase, your early game is better with Abrams. I would probably say that overall it's kind of a buff to him, especially since anti-heal is weaker, and you still get good sustain from again the base regen and whatnot, and the better damage scaling depending on your build. Bebop. Exploding Uppercut TT bonus now applies melee damage 2, or 2 melee damage 2. So if you do want to do a melee Bebop, now is your time. Maybe that's the next build we're going to do on the Hero Labs or other build labs. Hook can now be cancelled by allies with exit key, like the spacebar, similar to Viscous Cube. Dynamo. Kinetic Pulse now slides around geometry when it hits an obstruction. Quantum Singularity pulling allies no longer cancels their channel. Before it was just ultimates, but now I guess it's any of the channels. Rejuvenating Aura now allows you to reload during it. Currently only allows you to continue reloading if cast before. Quantum Entanglement. I cannot read. Quantum Entanglement now has a visual indicator for allies that will teleport. Quantum Entanglement ally range increased from 9 meters to 10. Cooldown increased from 15 to 16 seconds. Tier 4 cooldown reduction improved from -4 to -5. Rejuvenating Aura now allows you to use melee before the Tier 3 upgrade. They really want to make melee work, I can tell that much. Great Talon. Bullet damage increased from 24 to 25. Health growth per boon increased from 27 to 29. Immobilizing Trap now tethers targets rather than rooting them. Oh. What does tether mean? I assume that's the Vindicta stake that tethers them, so you can still kind of move around, but you can't get away. Tether duration increased from 1.25 to 1.5 seconds. No longer applies 50% slow for 1 second. The slow now starts immediately for 30% and lasts until 2 seconds after tether ends. Trap Tier 2 now changed from +2 slow to +1 second tether. Radius increased from 6 seconds to 6.2 seconds. Tier 1 CD improved from 19 seconds to 20 seconds. Guided Owl camera now returns more quickly when the owl collides very far away. I want to say that overall, this feels like a nerf at the very least to the trap, I want to say. Because the thing is with Tether, at least with Vindicta, is it kind of keeps them in one place, but it's not that easy to hit them. It's not as easy as a root. But obviously, and then it's not the slow doesn't apply for as long as well, so they will be a lot easier to, more difficult to hit. That being said, Obviously, a little bit more bullet damage is nice. A little bit more health is always nice, but that is basically a rework of the trap. Probably more healthy for the game. Moving on, we have tons of changes for Haze. Fixed bullet dance, sometimes freezing your client. Okay. Using items during smoke bomb no longer breaks invisibility. That can be a huge change. Can't think of a use case right now, but I guess it just keeps, helps you keep your invisibility up. Smoke bomb cooldown reduced from 37 to 30. Smoke bomb tier 1 changed from minus 14 seconds to plus 6 image sprint speed. Oh, you're gonna be zooming. What the hell? 6? Smoke bomb tier 2 changed from plus 6 image sprint speed to 15% bullet lifesteal for 8 seconds. Tier 3 changed from plus 30% bullet lifesteal for 8 seconds to phases out for 0.5 seconds on cast and enables charges with 10%. Wait, okay, we got lock in there. And enables charges with 10 seconds recharge time. Causes you to be out of world and fizzle incoming projectiles during this time. If you're still able to move, you need to buy charges still. Okay. So if I understand this correctly, you, for 0.5 seconds when you cast your smoke bomb, if you use it like if someone is shooting at you or throwing abilities at you, for 0.5 seconds, they will not hit you, as I understand it. It's like a mini ethereal shift, in a way, but you can still move around. If I understand it correctly, I might be wrong. Bullet dance bonus damage changed from plus 5 bullet damage to plus 6 spirit damage with 0.1 spirit scaling. Bullet dance tier 1 changed to plus 7 spirit damage. I mean some of you guys were on my ass about the last video whether like Haze was buffed or not, but this is a buff. This has to be a buff, right? The faster image sprint speed is good, especially being on tier 1, because now you can zoom around earlier in the game, and obviously this whole phasing out is super good. Because now you can use Spirit Smoke Bomb mid-fight just to stay alive for a little bit longer. It's like a high skill type of ability. And that's really cool. Moving on. Infernus Afterburn build-up decay time is now 15% slower. Concussive combustion radius increased from 12 meters to 13 meters. Concussive combustion tier 2 radius reduced from plus 4 to plus 3 meters. Okay. Ivy Stone Form drag down collision improved a bit. I have no idea what it means. I assume that's like if you use the Stone Form on a flying target, I guess it'll be easier to do that. Ivy has even more changes. Bullet damage increased from 5 to 5.2. Bullet damage growth reduced from 0.36 to 0.34. Fix being launched incorrectly when using Stone Form on certain geometry. Oh man, the dildo launch is dead. Stone Form having a brief period of vulnerability after fixed it. Airdrop flight controls improved a bit. Airdrop duration reduced from 17 seconds to 16 seconds. Cooldown increased from 85 to 90 seconds. Speed can now be increased with move speed or sprint items when out of combat. Airdrop now amplifies sprint values by 1.5%. So if you weren't building sprint on Ivy, now it might be very good because you're going to be able to run the urn super fast. Kelvin, Seismic Impact, Death Slam, and Ground Strike now smash through Ice Path. That will feel pretty good, I think. Lady Geist, Essence Bomb, Self-Damage Spell Scaling reduced from 2. They're buffing Lady Geist? Okay, I mean, it's a small buff, but like that thing was hitting hard, so not sure if that's the... Okay, whatever. Lash, Ground Strike, Drag Down Collision improved a bit. So he's doing a Drag Down Collision improvement across the board. McGinnis, Bullet Velocity increased from 533 to 590. Fixed Wall Triggering Reactive Barrier before Tier 3 Stun. Mini Turret's health no longer scales with your hero's health. Mini Turret's Spirit Resist reduced from 70% to 30%. Mini Turret's base health increased from 75 to 150. Roughly same overall health as previous start of the game. Mini Turrets now gain plus 20 health per boon. Now they take at most 30% of the max HP per second from any damage source. Any excess damage is moved towards the following second. In effect, this means that the turrets will always live at least 3 seconds. Okay, so it kind of defers the damage without a damage reduction. I don't know what I think about that. That'll be annoying to kill. That already felt real annoying to kill with the super high spirit resist. I don't know. I can't do like a quick math. I'm not Rain Man. I cannot tell whether that means that they die faster or not. Overall, I would say that they definitely took longer than 3 seconds to kill before. So now I don't even know anymore. Fixed mini turrets dying, causing you to lose sprint. Mini turret cycle time reduced from 0.5 seconds to 0.25. DPS unchanged. Bullet velocity increased from 406 to 500. Okay. Mirage. Tornado speed reduced by 10%. Fixed tornadoes being able to use while immobilized. I don't know what I said there. I'm going to reread that. Fixed tornado being usable while immobilized. That is actually huge. I don't know when you could use it, but that explains a lot of weird moments where I thought I had a man locked down and he just popped the tornado and killed me anyways. Tornado and Fire Scarab's ability slot swapped. So now Fire Scarabs is on your 1 and Tornado is on your 2, which is, again, that's a community request thing because there was the only movement ability in the game that was not on a 2. Traveler cooldown increased from 130 seconds to 145 seconds. Traveler tier 2 increased from minus 40 seconds cooldown to minus 55. Traveler can now be cast by targeting the top bar portraits. I already thought that was in the game, but apparently wasn't. That's great. I think they did a change like that recently. I don't remember which one it was. Mo and Krill. Headshot resistance now only applies to the big head. Burrow can now... Okay. So now there's actually a reason, if you're playing as Mo and Krill, you want to shoot Krill. That makes a lot of sense. Burrow can now go under McGinnis's spectral wall. Okay. Combo now pulls the target closer to you over time. That's cute. Health gain increased from 30 to 70. Sandblast duration reduced from 3.5 to 3 seconds. Sandblast tier 3 slow reduced. Oh man, that's a shame. I was going to do a Mo and Krill Sandblast build video. We can still do it, but it's going to be a little bit worse. Paradox, fixed kinetic carbine not processing headshot effects, headshot booster, head underclipping headshot, and the new ones. Paradoxical swap time min-max increased by 0.2, 0.3 seconds to help with the camera, so it's a little bit slower. Time Wall now deals 50 damage for going through it. So a little bit of base damage to make up for the 10% damage you did previously that we lost. 7, Storm Cloud now causes you to levitate up and down a little bit in a cycle rather than being fully stationary. And it now, Storm Cloud expend time reduced from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. So it will expand even faster. Shiv, Serrated Knives cooldown reduced from 19 seconds to 16 seconds. Serrated Knives can now capture souls. Quality of life, love to see it. Slice and Dice base damage increased from 105 to 110. Slice and Dice tier 2 reduced from 75 to 70. Slice and Dice cooldown reduced from 16 seconds to 15 seconds. Slice and Dice tier 1 reduced from minus 4 to minus 3 seconds. Killing Blow, the ultimate threshold, increased from 20% to 22. Killing Blow tier 2 reduced from plus 8 enemy health threshold to plus 6. Killing Blow full rage damage bonus increased from 15% to 17%. Killing Blow tier 2 reduced from 10% full range bonus damage to 8%. Fix an issue where using serrated knives and immediately holding M1 after to shoot, not firing your gun. This is something that actually happens with a lot of our heroes, and normally what I end up doing is I just have to let go and click immediately after. I believe McGinnis has this issue, and I can't think of the other ones right now, but I noticed a few other ones. Hopefully they're gonna go over those later. Shiv, Killing Blow, Rage per Spirit, damage increase from 0.013 to 0.014. Killing Blow cast range increased from 14 meters to 15. Moving on, Vindicta. Crow build is dead. Crow Familiar changed from 0.2 seconds cast delay to 0.2 post cast time. Crow Familiar now also reduces spirit resistance by 6%. Crow Familiar changed from 3% bleed and minus 40% anti-heal to minus 12 spirit and bullet resistance. Stake radius increased from 8 meters to 9 meters. Stake now sucks enemies 3 meters towards the center and limits movement to 6 meters from the center. Stake tier 1 changed from 0.5 to from 0.5 seconds to minus 40 fire rate. Stake tier 3 changed from disarm to 0.5 seconds. Assassinate min charge up increased from 25% to 50%. Oh, that's huge, so quick scoping would be a little bit better. Assassinate bonus damage and low HP base damage reduced from 135 to 120. Fix Assassinate being stuck if you zoom in and get silenced, thank God. Viscous, this is a very big change. Puddle Punch can now be parried. Now, parrying Puddle Punch does not stun Viscous, but it blocks the puddle effect from the parrying player. I assume that's both damage and the knockback. Massive. Warden. Also, speaking of Viscous, I realized it wasn't in the patch notes, but he got a new death sound. I wonder what you guys think about it. Let me know, Sparks fans. I don't want to kill him anymore. Feels bad, man. Warden. Fire rate spirit scaling reduced from 0.3 seconds to 0.25 seconds. Alchemical flat now respects LOS, no more hitting people through walls. Last stand cooldown increased from 138 seconds to 140. Last stand resistance during channel increased from 50% to 60. Yeah, I'd say override, like, that feels like a nerf, doesn't it? Even though, like, the last stand is stronger, but nobody cares about the ultimate. The flask was a big part of his kit, and not respecting LOS makes a big difference. It's still good that they fix those bugs, but it makes it a lot worse. Wraith, full auto tier 2 no longer has spirit scaling. That's been moved to tier 3. Full auto tier 3 now also adds spirit scaling. Okay, I don't know what we get for tier 2 then. Whatever, I guess. Telekinesis now causes the target to oscillate up and down a little bit. That's a really good counter because, I mean, you can still learn how to counter it, but it's not as simple as having Wraith kind of teleport, or sorry, like just suspending the target completely still in the air. Now, at the very least, Wraith needs to move her aim a little bit up and a little bit down, and, you know, knowing Wraith means that's still, maybe that's too much effort, so maybe she'll start failing to get the kills when they're ulted. And finally, we have Yamato, improved cases where Power Slash would hit enemies behind cover. Shadow Transformation no longer heals on cast. Shadow Transformation tier 3 increased from +2 seconds to +3 seconds. And Shadow Transformation now heals for 50% of your max HP on hero kill. So it's basically like you have a heal bane. I guess if you have both that and heal bane, you're going to be nearly unkillable if you want to go for a crazy Yamato kill streak. But that was the patch notes for the 22nd of November. I hope you guys can, again, enjoy the quality. It's a bit scuffed. We'll be back with better quality by the next patch notes. If you guys are interested in seeing smaller patch notes or anything like that, let me know in the comments. I have really been debating making them. You know, the big patch note videos we do every 2 weeks, they take, you know, they're pretty long videos, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. This one is actually 52. So it's a lot of things to go through, and I think that comparatively, the short patch notes are not as much content, not as many things to talk about, but I still think it is worth talking about, so you guys can, you know, get a one-stop shop and come to the channel and see what new changes there are and what you can learn from it. But you know, let me know in the comments if you guys want that. There'll be like a 2-minute, 4-minute video for the small patch notes. Again, I don't want to flood the channel with too much low effort content, but just let me know what you guys think. Again, super glad with most of these changes. I am a bit worried that the change to the matchmaking will make a very big, it will be a negative experience for a lot of players, and I have a feeling it will negatively impact the casual player base, however many of those are left. And I think like it will become very sweaty pretty damn fast, but they are forced to do it because the game is having a very hard time, it's kind of falling off at the moment. Obviously, they'll probably pick up down the line, but it's not looking too good right now, and they had to do these drastic measures. Most balance changes, I'm all for. Anything against Death Ball meta, I am all for. We're just going to have to see how it plays out and how it feels once I return and can start playing again. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for checking out the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time. Okay, bye-bye. Peace out.